Hello, everyone. My name is Shyam Manawat, and we have with us today Rahul Jain. Rahul Jain is alumnus of IIM Amritsar. In fact, he is still part of IIM Amritsar, graduating now this year. We have a lot of insights, a lot of questions to ask from him. How was the life in Amritsar? How did he reach there? How was his preparation plan? So, students, listeners, audience, you will have a lot to learn from this podcast. So, do not skip any part. Watch the complete podcast. You will have valuable insights. Hi, Rahul.
Hi Sham. As you said, I am Amritsar alumnus, and on 4th of April is scheduled for my convocation. So that is the day I will get my degree, and I am still associated with I am Amritsar and still will be after completing or getting my degree certificate. That is as a part of alumni committee of I am Amritsar.
Great. So, we welcome you, Rahul, to ViaCareers Podcast. This podcast is made this initiative has been taken by ViaCareers for students, audience, subscribers, or listeners who are preparing or planning to prepare for CAT exam and targeting top big colleges like one of where you are one of the alumnus from. So, Rahul,
Okay.
uh, tell us about your um journey before IIM. How was you
Okay.
as a student before joining IIM?
Okay. So first, sir, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to be a part of your podcast series. My journey, as we talk about before I am, so I have done BCom, Bachelor's of Commerce. Before that, my background in 11th and 12th was Commerce plus Mathematics. I was always interested in mathematics, so I took that as an optional in 11th, 12th also.
Okay.
Then in Bachelor's, I have done Bachelor's of Commerce, BCom. Other than that, I was also doing Chartered Accountancy course simultaneously. I've
Okay.
cleared I've cleared CA Foundation Group and I have
Uh-huh.
attempted CA Intermediate, but then I thought that that is not the right path for me, and I shifted to an MBA journey.
Okay.
Talking about the MBA journey, I started preparing after leaving the complete chartered accountancy course aside, and I started preparing for CAT exam and other OMETs, and that's how we came here.
Okay. So you were a commerce student earlier, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay. Commerce honors you have done, correct?
BCom,
Okay. BCom.
plain BCom, uh,
Plain BCom. Okay.
plain
So
BCom.
during your BCom, those 3 years of BCom, um, was MBA part of the plan, or it happened due to some experience or talking to people? How was it?
After coming to second year of BCom or my undergraduate, I got to know that even those students who are doing CA or who have left CA, maybe complete or incomplete, they are going for an MBA for
Okay.
better exposure and better opportunities.
All right.
I have heard about this program of IIM Kohikode also, that they
Mm-hmm.
have a separate financial MBA program which is targeted towards CA students. And that's how I got to know that MBA is something which can accelerate your career journey and can help you overall in how you go ahead with your career and which field you want to make into. So
Okay,
that's how I
that's
got to know
interesting.
about MBA.
Mhm.
And I had some friends who were also preparing for CAT exam. So they told me that I should also give it a try. And that's how I started preparing for that.
Okay, that's totally new to me. That IIM Amritsar has some program which is favoring students or CA students or CA aspirants or people who have completed CA. So, or rather, I should say, students coming from the commerce background. So we'll
No,
talk about
actually,
this. Okay.
it is I am Kohikode who is offering that program. But
Okay.
I got into I am Amritsar aside from that. But other than that, if I would like to say that every I am gives some special points to CA
Okay.
community. If you are completed CA intermediate or CA final, you have given a special preference or special quota or special marks for that category.
Okay.
You are
Additional
counted in
points
a
in the
separate category.
admission process. Okay. So you will get
Yeah,
additional
that's it.
point in the admission process.
Yes, you get an additional
Lovely.
point in the admission process for
Oh,
that.
great. 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 So, Uh, students who are in commerce, they should feel encouraged about they will get dual benefit if they
Yeah,
go through the process of CA, becoming CA, maybe intermediate or at some at wherever they are, at whichever stage they are, they should feel encouraged that they will get additional point even if they join IIM. So that's great. Okay.
yes,
You said that you in during your second year you were doing the research and then you got to know about the programs available and then you have spoken to some of your friends also who are
yes.
so friends as in they were uh, of your age or senior to you or
So they were of my age only. So
okay.
they were doing some different programs from different colleges in
Hmm.
Indore itself. I was in Indore at
Okay.
that point of time.
All right.
So they were doing BBA and they were already planned on doing MBA. Some thought of
Okay.
doing MBA with me. That
Okay.
they will start the journey we have decided as a group that we should go for an MBA.
All
That
right.
was the plan. And I also got to know about MBA, that is the IPM program of IIM Indore
Right.
in 12th standard, but I didn't give it much attention at that point of time. So I
Okay.
thought if I ever need to do an MBA, I will do it for 2 years instead of going for a 5 year integrated journey. And
Yes.
the reason for me choosing commerce was that I thought CA profession is something I want to go. I
Right.
always wanted to go with numbers, and
Okay.
I was good in mathematics, so that's why I always found myself fond of numbers.
Okay.
That's how I
Okay.
joined the journey, and a few of my friends also started preparing for MBA CAT exams. And as a group, we have been in multiple colleges right now. We are in multiple colleges
Nice.
and
Nice. Nice.
graduating right now.
I also want to appreciate and I'm really happy that students like you and your group mates who identified their goal in the second year itself.
Hmm.
It's at very right time. No matter whether you join a top B school like IIMs or even non-IIMs, but top B schools after your graduation or even after taking some years of experience, it matters. And when you are in your
Yes,
student life, it become very easy to add on one more subject, more one extra, or add on additional 1 hour or 2 hours for studying anything extra. But when you join job, that become little uh,
huh.
challenging. Okay,
Challenging. Yeah, many of
right,
my friends who have tried first doing job and then going for CAT exam, they found it a little challenging. It's actually a lot of pressure for those who are working in the from morning to evening shift and then preparing for CAT exam, taking 2 hours or
true,
3 hours. It's very hectic for them.
true.
Aside if you are a bachelor's or you are doing undergraduation, it's easier for you to take out time for CAT exam.
So I asked this question to all the top B school alumni who are
Yes.
recently graduating. That do you feel that MBA is worth it?
So there is a lot of myth or rumors about that Indian MBA is dying or MBA is
Yeah,
not worth it so much.
right,
But
right.
I am of opposite views in this point. MBA
Okay.
is still worth it in India.
Hmm.
Many of the graduates. Talking about India itself, the undergraduate system or undergraduate colleges are not as good as it should be as compared
Right,
to other countries, and
right,
they don't give you much skills or much recognition in your work experience, or whether you go into a corporate life or any other phase, even if you say you are going for entrepreneurship or anything else. So
right.
I will say MBA is still worth it. There are many students, or so if you say in my batch of IIM Amritsar, that is 24-26, there were
Right.
many students who are coming from directly bachelor's background, who are coming from corporate life and have
Hmm.
like a work experience of ranging from 1 year to 5 year.
All
Many
right.
of the students who are UPSC candidates and
Okay.
who were preparing for civil examinations, and
Uh-huh.
they left those courses maybe for unfortunate attempts or any other reason, and they have started working preparing for MBA. So
All
it
right.
still gives you a career it still gives you a career guidance. It still gives you a direction in which you can explore yourself more and work ahead.
Right.
I have seen many of my friends who are right now along with MBA preparing for other courses as well.
Is
So,
it?
for example, CFA, FRM, multiple of my
Okay.
friends are right now preparing for CFA, and many of them
Hmm.
while being in IIM Amritsar, they have graduated level one.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Even I have heard that the students who join MBA, they do side by side additional professional qualifications as well. So they don't settle down with one. And
Yes.
it's not that MBA is not giving you enough value to get placed in good company and have high packages. It's more about having that skill which you are
That
developing with
skill set
those. Right, right. Agreed.
that skill set is which keeps you encouraging, and it's also the time where you can devote much of your time into uh, learning something more. As you were saying, after getting into a job, it's difficult to take out some time. But while
Right,
you are in IIM or while you are preparing for any CAT exam or other MET exam, management
right,
entrance exam, it's
right.
easier for you to go for professional courses.
And as you mentioned about UPSC aspirants, for them,
Yes,
cracking CAT exam must be very not easy, but it's in the same line. Like you are preparing, even in UPSC, you have round one, which is objective exam, right?
yes,
You have aptitude there as well. You need to prepare for interview there as well. You need to have understanding of what's happening in and around the world, right?
current affairs.
Uh,
Yeah.
Correct. Current affairs, they are being updated about it. So, cracking interviews also, that process of being in UPSC preparation also help in CAT exam preparation or cracking the interview of top big school. So that's
Yes,
added, right?
definitely it helps them. As far as I've seen my UPSC friends who are right now graduating from IIM Amritsar, I found them they have a strong hold on economics. Their academics were good or maybe better than average students of any other colleges.
Right.
They were good in economics, and their quantitative aptitudes as well as logical reasoning were on a far superior level than others, I will say.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it's there are options. There are multiple streams, say UPSC or chartered accountancy, chartered secretary, company
Hmm.
secretary, who can go into a field of MBA and can
Hmm.
success ahead if they want to switch a field.
Okay. Is there any batchmate of you who in whose company you learn something extra additional apart from your core subjects? So in MBA, I'm sure all of you are learning similar subjects, or some people are opting for some electives which may be different. But apart from that, maybe students from BBA, students from pharmacy, or engineering students who was part of your project or batch, your friend group in IIM. Uh, did you come across any situation, any incident where you learn something extra apart from the academics, your academics?
Okay, so I will take example of two sectors, two different friends. So few of my friends were from mathematics background. So BSc
Okay.
in mathematics, they have done that.
Hmm.
So there's a thing called in MBA or in any B school you are in, whether undergraduate or postgraduate, case
Hmm.
competitions. So
Right.
Unstop organizes many case competitions along with in collaboration multiple companies.
Okay.
There are multiple aptitudes round. So say there is quantitative round, there is a logical reasoning, verbal ability for some colleges, for some competitions there is. So those students who have done bachelor's in mathematics, I found them very to be very fast in these competitive quizzes and
Okay.
these unstopped case competitions. So I
Okay.
learned how to crack those and how we can go ahead with them. How they are actually thinking about going through any particular question in mind.
All right.
Other than that, I will talk about one more sector. So the other sector is pharmacy. So many of my friends are from pharmacy sector. A few are actually doctor and dentist who have
Okay.
completed their doctorate MBBS and who are dentists, have the license. I'm not sure if they are working or not. I don't think so. They are working. So there are many group projects in in any IIM college or B school. You get many group projects. You tend to work on multiple projects where you find out details about different industries. So in one of my group project, I was working on pharma industry, and we were learning how the industry is changing and what are the what can be more done about it. My summer internship was also in a pharma industry also. So
Okay.
the person he helped me a lot in those particular sectors. So it gives a fresh perspective on a complete sector who he has actually worked in.
Okay.
So he has more knowledge. He has real life experience other than what I could find on any other platform. Maybe say if I am
Mm,
going to search on ChatGPT or Google about pharma
right.
industry or any other statistics platform, we have one called Statistata. So if you are working or learning from them, it's a different thing. The theory part is different, but actually they actually know the ground reality of them. So they know
All
how
right.
things are working.
I agree with it.
So
Like you it cannot get everything on internet or from AI tool because they only answer questions which you ask,
yeah.
right? Or after one point of time, even AI tools like ChatGPT, the answers become very monotonous. So somebody who's there with you giving and can give all the aspects or different aspect of the industry, that's totally different,
So the
right?
insights completely change after you have a person who has actually worked in that particular field.
Right. And that's what MBA offers, right?
Yes.
Having people from different qualification, different working background, different professional background, they collaborate, they share their experience, and it adds a lot of value. And especially people who are with high IQ, high EQ, they are studying together, working on projects together. It makes a lot of difference.
Yes, the fresh perspective from every other sector you're working in. So there are multiple projects. So every project with every particular industry, if there is a different industry involved, so the perspective which a person or insights which a person who has actually worked on it brings is actually different from anything you can find on internet. They can
Right.
give you much more information, much more insights, and much more thinking points of where you should be thinking on rather than
True,
what
true,
is given by any other tool.
true. Right. Coming to your CAT preparation, Rahul, uh, let's try revisiting those days. So
Sure,
when did you
sure.
start your CAT preparation?
As far as I remember, I started in December of 2022 or January
Hmm.
of 2023. Seriously, from January of 2023,
Right.
I started my CAT preparation. What I did for preparing, actually, I have complete timeline of how I prepared.
Okay.
So I started with YouTube videos as any
Okay.
aspirant or any student who is thinking of joining a course or thinking of a different career path. So they start watching a lot of YouTube videos. So I
Right.
did that, made a
Right.
timeline on how I can study for CAD exam and what is the strategy which can work for me. I
Correct.
started those. I made a summary of those and started searching for coachings which can help me through this journey because I know even students can do it on their own self and
They want
learn
to.
from themselves without any
Right.
coaching. But
True.
to speed up the process and up your
Right.
chances, it's better
Right.
that I thought, yeah, I should join a coaching. I found one which
Absolutely.
is suitable and compatible with me, and I
Right.
started preparing for that. So
Okay.
from January, I will say I have decided divided this into three particular portions. The complete CAT syllabus. That is, I
Okay.
will say basic,
Okay.
intermediate, and advanced. So
Okay.
from January to May, I focused
Mhm.
on completing my syllabus from
Mhm.
basic to intermediate level in every
Okay.
three aspect of maybe say quant, DILR, and VRC. So I
Right.
decided that I should be on an intermediate level during this time.
Okay.
But as always, unfortunately, 100% of the course completion is not possible.
Not possible.
So
I agree.
it stretched to June and July, and
Hmm.
I started and then till May I have done till intermediate level, I will say, and I
Okay.
was a little confident in myself. But as soon as I gave my first mock, I got
Hmm.
to know the ground reality is a far stretch from what I should be.
Right.
Then I started preparing. Then my strategy changed actually. I changed my strategy instead of completing the syllabus and focusing on only completing my syllabus. I've picked up past year questions.
Okay.
So past year questions of last 5 to 10 years of
Hmm.
every particular topic
Topic.
in
Right.
VRC, in quant,
Hmm.
and DILR. So in
Okay.
quant, I have picked up chapter-wise syllabus. So say
Okay.
I have started working on arithmetic,
Okay.
and in arithmetic, I have picked up last 5 years or 10 years questions, and
Mm-hmm.
now I'm preparing those questions which have come into CAT exam. I'm not
Right.
solving them. I'm preparing on how to solve them and how I can go about them. Same
Correct.
for DILR.
Right.
And I will say this was the charm point or game-changing point for me, which actually gave me confidence and which increased my confidence on how I can actually solve the exam and I can perform well in mocks as well as CAT exam.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of preparing just your normal booklets of any other institute or any institute you are
Right.
preparing from, the
Right.
past year questions is a thing which can give you a significant boost in your preparation. That is
Absolutely.
one of the major strategic change in my strategy, as
Right.
well as which increased my percentile in mock exams also.
Okay.
Other
Okay.
than that, I started giving mock exams as a part of my preparation. So CAT exams I started from April, but in April and May I only gave one or two mock exams, and then
Mm-hmm.
from June I consistently started with CAT exams as well as OMET's mock exam, which was
Right.
you don't only focus on one on IIM tag itself. There are multiple B schools which are also important
Absolutely.
and which are top B
Correct.
schools.
Correct.
Yeah, so I started working on those.
Right.
So
Right.
if I continue on mock strategy or anything else from,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the mock strategy was that I gave one mock in April and one
Mm-hmm.
in May. And I
Okay.
remember the score was very poor. I will say less than 50 percentile of those students who were giving with me. And the marks were also not very good, around 24. I remember that because I have written every single mock exam I have given, the
Right.
marks and the percentile I got.
Okay.
So in April and May, it was not good. But once I started preparing for past year questions, I learned that my mock score is also improving from them.
Improving. Okay.
Yeah, so because of those questions which I have practiced, from June I gave one mock every single week and analyzed it.
Okay.
At that time, my mock score also started improving, and the strategy which I used in DILR. So there
Mm-hmm.
was a particular strategy which I use after giving a mock exam is that after completing your mock exam, you go back to the complete CAT paper.
Right.
You start the DILR and quant also. You can do it for complete all three sections, but I specifically did it for DILR. That I
Right.
sat and I started solving those questions without any time duration or time boundation because I wanted to see whether or not I am able to solve those questions if there is a time boundation or not.
Right. To know that.
So
Correct.
after completing the mock, I revisited that particular mock and did that. So instead of those 40 minutes, maybe starting it took me 3 hours or 4 hours, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
one of the question was not solvable at that point of time. But
Okay.
initially, this strategy actually helped me in mock exams. And when July and August came, I started two mocks, 2 to 3 mocks per week. I
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of time at that point of time. I had a time that I can give 2 to 3 mocks. I was not
Correct.
working, so as a fresher, I can give multiple mocks. I gave multiple mocks, did the same strategy with font and DILR, and I had a good score in that particular sections. Talking about
Okay.
VRC, so
Mm-hmm.
my VRC, as many Indian students, I'm
Right.
not categorizing this, but many of us are weak on VRC portion.
Right. They
Uh,
confuse. I
huh,
found that student get confused between English skills and CAT
yeah,
VRC. They feel
huh,
that if
CAT
we are
VRC.
good in English, then VRC can be taken care. But as you
Hmm,
correctly identified, that that's not the case. That
that's
is
not the
the
case.
CAT
Huh.
VRC is different than general English. Yes. Please carry on.
General
Yes.
English,
Yes.
because
Yeah. Please go
we
ahead.
Indian
Yeah.
students are not in so much of the reading habits here. We
Correct.
are not reading much, even if some are reading the novels, there is a
Okay.
difference between reading particular articles and how the RC passages are made for CAT exams. So
Right.
for that, I started reading Aeon essays. There is a website called
Mm-hmm.
Aeon, and I
Right.
started reading those Aeon essays. I had a target of reading one per day, but I did one in every 2 days or 3 days. I read one article and
Mm-hmm.
I started solving one RC passage, irrespective of
Okay.
the day. I had a goal that I need to solve one RC passage every day.
Every day.
So
Right.
that was the thing that kept me aligned with preparation. And I know that my subject is weak in that particular point, in that particular area. So that was the strategy for VRC,
Okay.
one RC every day.
Right.
My grammar is also a little weak, but I got to know that grammar does not give a lot in CAT exam. There's not much you have to yeah, there is not so much fluent you have to be in English grammar, particularly to be good in RC exams. It's
Correct.
not very much required. Yeah.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
solving and reading those articles, interpreting them, that is much more of a need in
Mm,
CAT exams specifically than
absolutely.
any other
Absolutely.
OMET exams also.
Right. Right. So you said that, which I also agree, that a lot of students they focus on पहले syllabus complete करो. Let us complete the
हाँ,
syllabus first and then attempt the mock.
हम्म,
And that's where I feel that they go wrong because if you actually see, quant is one section where you get in the recent CAT paper, recent past few years CAT paper, you get 22 questions from quant.
yes.
Uh, I think 24 questions at quant के ना कितने कितने होते हैं यार मैं भी भूल गया.
It varies every year, huh, but 20
Yeah,
to
so
24.
okay, so in the recent years of CAT, you have 22, 24 questions from quant, but if you look at the syllabus of quant, it's very vast. The time which you take to cover DI, LR, BA, RC all together, you take equal amount of time just to cover up syllabus of one section.
Quant, yes.
So it's not possible for people to cover entire syllabus and touch each and every point, but they can complete the majority of them so that they have the foundation. They understand what are we going to deal with, and then focusing on the CAT exam level questions is very important. Otherwise,
Yes,
you won't be able to make it because what you get in the notes usually is basics question. Usually is this question belongs to this particular chapter because you're studying that
mhm.
chapter. Let's say you're studying permutation combination, so you know
Huh,
that
you
you
know
need to
that
apply. Yeah, you know that you already
permutation
know.
of combination
So half of the things is already won. That this question is from this topic.
from this
Whereas,
topic. Yes.
yeah, whereas when you answer mixed question, it's become very important for you to understand this, which concept shall we apply, and
Mm.
practicing that or giving more time to those kind of questions are important. Correct. And reading ability, yes, yeah. I mean, again, in today's world of uh, being on YouTube, being on Instagram, people are losing that reading ability, or
Mm.
maybe being focused for a couple
Yeah,
of minutes, even for 10 minutes, being focused, and whatever you read, you keep jotting down that this is what paragraph one say, paragraph two says, paragraph three says. So people are losing that. So to keep pace, a good pace of reading, you need to keep practicing that every day. So that's important, right? In fact, reading such kind of essays which you mentioned, Aeon essays, or maybe editorial of some newspaper, that
yes.
builds that gives that variety of subjects that you have some essay on economics, some essays on science and technology, some essays on
Philosophy,
humanity,
humanities.
philosophy. So that also gives you understanding of the basic terms used in these areas, so that you don't get confused suddenly when you see inflation as a word in passage. You get puzzled up. What does it mean? You are
Yeah.
already aware about it. So yes, so your strategy worked well. So you covered most of the thing in preparing. So you also divided. So I can see that you have given good 10 to 11 months for CAT preparation.
Yeah. Mm.
Student asked this question like we are in month of March, and by the time people watch this podcast, it may be month of April, which leave them with 8 months of preparation
Yes.
for
Mm.
CAT exam. And people do ask me question that is it possible to crack CAT in 8 months? Now, I
Yeah.
have my own answer, but I want to hear it from you because I feel that it's never
Mm.
less, it's never more. It's on
Mm.
you. How do you make it?
Yeah. So, as you go to an any IIM, you get to know there are multiple students who only study for 2 or 3 months. There are
Yeah,
many who
happens.
studied for multiple years, who have given
Right,
multiple attempts also.
right,
So I got to know
correct,
that it's never about you have less time. It's about
right.
what's your strategy and how you are able to cover the complete portion.
Absolutely,
What
absolutely,
will be your strategy? So a person sitting
absolutely.
in January, that is me. I was sitting in January when I started preparing. So I
Right,
only prepared maybe say 2 hours per day. That was my
right,
strategy. But if you are sitting in March or you are sitting in June, even June is
right,
not late, I will say. Even
correct,
June is not late. If you are sitting
right.
in June, maybe you have to give 4 to 5 hours, 6 hours per day.
Per
So
day. True.
that is the only thing which will change. I've seen many
Correct.
students who are say from mathematics background or
Mm-hmm.
engineering background, they have to give less time on quant and DILR. They have to
Right,
focus more on their VRC skills, and in 3 months or 2 months also they can do the complete portion. Commerce students as well. There are many commerce
yes.
students who I have
Mm.
met with who are prepared only for 6 months. So there is a
Right,
very big myth in commerce students that they will not be able to solve the quant level exams or quant
absolutely.
level.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, correct,
So that is a big myth. Actually, I will always say it's a myth because it's not true
right,
that they will not be able to do it or they will not be able to do in comparison to engineering student. So
correct,
first thing which every commerce student should know is that your competition is never with the engineering student. You have your
mm,
different category in every IIMs. You have a
right.
category of commerce student. You will be selected among those commerce students,
Commerce
and your
students, right.
direct competition is not with engineering student. So you
Correct,
should
correct,
focus more on how you can achieve more marks yourself and in your
right,
particular category.
right,
And for
right,
as for so for quantitative aptitude test in CAT exam, the syllabus is not above the 10th grade.
correct,
Only a few topics which come, maybe say for limits and functions, which is from 11th grade, I will say. But rest till permutation combination, everything is from 10th grade itself. There's
right.
nothing new which you will have to encounter in the CAT exam. And
Absolutely,
even 2 months is more than enough to for you to cover your quant syllabus as well as
correct,
prepare for mock exams as well, which you have and which you have to go through. Is very
right,
much important than going running after every single YouTube video and saying, "Oh, can I get this material? Can I get this material?
correct,
Which
correct,
book you studied from?" No,
right,
jumping many
right.
books is not the answer. If you are taking one book or one particular module or one particular institute's study material, stick with it. I will
Correct,
say any one material is enough. You have to just
right,
stick with it. I will say
right, right. That's where students waste a lot of time. They they just sit and try to collect all the possible material. इस
yes,
कोचिंग का भी ले लो, उसका भी ले लो, पास्ट ईयर पेपर ले लो, ये भी ले लो, वो भी ले लो, and then at the end they have piled up of all the study material, but they are not able to start. So it's
they
very
are not able
important,
to
as you
start.
said, that we should not students should not, and I also say in to my student that don't keep looking for free study material. Just stick to one
Yes,
and have a concise study material which can which is sufficient. You should
which
not
is
over
sufficient.
prepared also, because
Uh,
as I always say to my students once again, that you don't have to do PhD in CAT preparation.
yes,
This is, yeah, just one phase which you need to clear. This is just one milestone which you need to clear, cross to go to the next stage. You don't
yeah,
have to
yes,
let it be with people like us whose job is to prepare students for CAT. So we need to dig into it. But you guys, you just need to sail through this stage, complete this milestone, and go to the next stage of um, your 2 years of management
your
from
two
top
years of
three school.
journey. There is also interview
Yes,
and GD preparation. There's much
correct,
than just these three sections.
correct,
You don't have
correct.
to be a master of it. Other than
Right.
that, I will say कि instead of jumping for study materials, jump for mock exams. So there are
Correct.
multiple
Yeah.
institutes in
Yes. Yes. Right.
CAT fraternity.
Right.
I will say that there are multiple institutes who provide free mock, 1 or 2 mocks.
Right.
Everyone provides for free. So
Right.
instead of going just for the coaching mocks which I have taken, I gave every institute's free mock exams. I
Yeah.
didn't hesitate it. Yeah, I
That's where
gave
you
every.
try.
Uh,
That's where you understand the mindset of different examiners. Because
yes,
if you only pick up mock from one institute, then that institute has a particular way of asking question. So you
yes.
are only surrounded with that. But if you take some varieties, some three, four, five mocks from different institute, a good institute, not like any
Not
institute which is
any institute.
offering it. A good institute, you get that flavor
Hmm.
because you don't know what is the mindset of the examiner who is making the actual mock paper. So that's a very important point people should uh, consider. Rahul, what was your routine, day routine during your preparation? How many hours were you? So as you said, you joined coaching. So how many hours were you spending in classes, coaching classes, in the classroom, and how many hours were you giving to yourself for self study? If we look at 1 week of schedule,
Okay, so I will divide it into two parts.
right?
So from January to May, so it's a
Okay,
separate story, and from
okay,
June to November, it's a separate story. So
right,
from January to May, I was going for coaching 2 hours three times a week, and that
okay,
is of 2 hours, 2 hours
right,
and 2.5 hours. That was the time duration for which I was going for coaching, and that was three times a week. Maybe say
right,
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or the
right,
other way around, TTS, Thursday,
right,
Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So it
right.
was like that. Other than that, I focused majorly on self-studying. So
Okay,
after coaching, so coaching will give you basics, but you need to study in advance on the topic you want to cover more.
right.
So I studied maybe say 2 hours every day or 1 hour every day from January to May, 1 to 2 hour, between 1 to 2 hour. So from January to March, it was 1 hour every day. And from because my exams were there in BCom exam were there in
BCom
March.
exam was
So
there. Okay,
after that, I studied 2 to 3 hours every day from
right.
April to May. 2 hours every day, it was the routine for me. As
Okay,
well as because my count was a little on a plus side, so I
right,
prepared in advance than what was held in coaching. So I
right.
started
Okay,
preparing those topics which I was fond of, and I know that I can do that on my own.
okay, okay.
And
And
from
then yes, 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 yes.
From June to November, so I will say it's important for you to go for 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours every day. 2 to 3, I will say, is more than enough. So you
Okay,
don't have to overburn yourself or get too much tired into preparing for the only CAT exams. So 2 to 3 hours, I will say, is more than enough from June to November. And if
okay.
you are
Two
preparing
to
for
three hours
other
for what? For studying by yourself, or what? What is that?
For studying by yourself, I will say.
By
For
yourself.
studying by
Okay.
yourself, by yourself.
Mhm.
Take mock exams time differently from this. This is for self-study. For mock exam, you will have
Right,
to take out time for 2 to 3 mocks from June. You have to give at least 2 mocks every day, every week, I will say.
right,
Every week
right.
you have to give two mock exams. There are many students I have seen who gave every single mock every day, but I don't think that's very useful. 2 mocks a week is more than good enough.
More than
And
good enough.
other
Right.
than that, 2 to 3 hours from June to November is more than good enough for you to study. In this, you
Right.
can also include your OMAT exams. So,
Hmm.
for example, a SNAP exam, Z
Right.
exam, and NMAT. These have a
Right.
little different pattern. So, you can also study for this during this period itself.
Yeah. So I think you don't need to prepare that again. You don't have to prepare separately for those exams,
You
but
don't need to
answer
prepare
mocks.
separately.
Right. But but answer mocks so that you get into that mode of answering
Huh.
maybe say ZAT exam or SNAP exam, or for NMIMS you have NMAT exam. You get into that mode. You understand the type of questions, difficulty level, time management required in the exam.
Time management is the most important skill because in every
Right.
single exam, the time is different for every
Correct.
section also. In NMAT,
Right.
in SNAP, in Z,
Right.
every three exam, there is a different time slot for different sections. In CAT, there is 40, 40, 40, but it's not the same in other OMAT exams, I
Right.
will say. So that is important.
Correct. Okay. So to come to the preparation routine,
Okay.
if I say that majority of time or more than 50% of the time you are spending on self-study, I hope that I think that will not be wrong, right? If I say
Yeah,
this way.
that's right. That's right. I
So
will say.
so coaching or any teacher teaching you can only make your foundation strong, but you have to work on yourself to practice advanced level questions.
Yes.
And maybe say if you have doubt, then you may reach out to the teachers. But self study is a lot more important than just learning from XYZ.
Yes,
right?
so that is obviously true, and it's not always important for advanced questions. Also, you always go to your teachers. So,
Right,
for example, in my case of preparation, there was a uh, WhatsApp group for Quant and DILR and for
right,
VARC. So,
right,
what we
right.
used to do it over there is for basic questions, it's not very much needed, but for intermediate and advanced question, I'm studying on my own. If I am stuck on any point, I will send a photo of that particular question in that WhatsApp group.
Right.
Maybe any other student who is available, they will answer
Correct,
it. So
correct.
I also used to answer it, and I got a lot of practice from that. Or maybe
Right.
any other faculty, if no student is answering,
Can
they
also
will
answer.
answer it. They
Right,
can also answer it. Even
right.
if you, after seeing that particular answer in that particular frame, if you are not getting it, you can go to your teacher or faculty. Because
Absolutely.
going to faculty for every single doubt, I don't think it's the best choice after undergraduate you are doing.
Correct,
Try solving.
correct.
Maybe take 1 hour for a single question. It's not a big thing.
Right, right,
Give one
right,
hour for a question. It's not a big thing. But
right,
as long as you get the concept yourself, you will learn it for a longer period of time.
right. So you mean to say when you say give even 1 hour giving for one question until you get the answer, do
Yes.
you mean to say that focus on the accuracy more than solving the question in less time in the initial stages?
In the initial studies, it is very
Yeah.
important.
So focus on the accuracy more than the speed initially.
Yes.
And when you build on your accuracy, your foundation is strong, eventually your speed will improve,
Eventually, your speed will improve,
right?
and then to increase your speed in particular section, maybe say specifically for quant, you can give
Hmm.
sectional what do we say sectional
Sectional
quiz or
tests,
sectional mock sectional
right?
test to
Right,
improve your speed for that.
right, right. But initially, we should focus more on
More on accuracy,
accuracy,
more on learning how to solve it on yourself rather than
right?
looking for solution right away. Because
Correct.
even though you can go for a solution, you can ask your teacher or any AI tool or anyone else. The basic reasoning capability which you develop by solving on your own is different
Yes,
than if you
is
ask
different.
anyone else.
Yes, yes. The problem-solving skills you develop to
On your
identify
own
the
is different
problem,
than
right? Analyzing and critical thinking on that. That's what the top B schools want students to be prepared. Come ready with that. Come ready with
hmm,
having that skill of problem solving. Then they just top on with their subject knowledge and case studies and their internships, and then make you great, right? Yeah, you also mentioned about commerce and engineering students. So I want to touch that point again that many students have that myth, especially the non-engineer ones, that these exams are meant for engineers because they are good at maths. So, they will be the toppers, or they will be the one who will be making to that. So I again want to touch that point that it's not about maths, as you said. It's maths up to 10th standard, which is very general. We
very
go to
general.
any
Yes.
shop, we talk about what is MRP, how much discount is given, how much profit the shopkeeper is making. So that's what the profit and loss is. Make some permutation combination of arranging some things. So these aptitude exams are more about uh, general understanding with these problems, not the core maths, not integration, differentiation, and those kind of
Yes,
maths,
not the
right?
integration differentiation. The calculus is not involved in the CAT exam.
CAT exam. So it's
Uh,
not that the myth which people have that only engineer this kind of exams are meant for engineers. So what's your point of view on this?
so, for taking an example of how I prepared for CAT exam and how I solved the questions in my CAT exam, that is CAT 2023. So, I solved the questions. I know that limit and function, this is the
Hmm.
one topic which I am not so good at.
Right.
Uh, I had second slot in 2023 exam, and I solved 7 questions,
Hmm.
and completely 7 were from arithmetic, and I solved every single one of them accurately. I knew
Right.
2 more
Okay.
from geometry, but I don't know at that point of time it didn't click. So I won't say ki, you need to learn everything in quantitative aptitude. So
Right.
even if you are not good at one topic, leave it. Don't stress
Right.
much. Learn the basics. If
Correct.
and a simple question comes, solve it. If it doesn't come to your mind, leave it and focus on the one you have more skills on. So
Right.
algebra, geometry, arithmetic, prepare them thoroughly because majority of the questions are coming from algebra side in past
Right.
few CAT exams. Uh,
Right.
Giving an example of engineer versus commerce. So my
Right.
cousin brother, who is
Mhm.
also right now doing MBA from Duke University, so
Okay.
North Carolina. So he's also doing good supply chain management. He was engineer
Okay.
and
Okay.
he went abroad for his MBA.
Right.
So we both were studying. I was studying from January. He started studying from May or June. So I won't
Okay.
say there is a much difference between us.
Okay.
Even you are a commerce student, I was commerce student, he was a engineering student. We were studying together. If you study for your exam with your aptitude, so
Hmm.
I always knew I'm good at arithmetic.
Correct.
I am good in particular sections of geometry. He is good
Right.
in algebra. So I
Right.
don't have to compete with him in algebra. I have to work myself on arithmetic. So it's
Yes.
not one thing that you have to be good in everywhere. And while
Right.
you are a commerce student, it's one thing. But right now, you know more about profit and loss from,
Correct.
I will say,
Correct.
somehow you know better about profit and loss.
Yes.
In
Yes.
11th, in
Yes.
12th, in BCom, you have
Yes.
heard only profit and loss and credit and
Yes.
debit. You know more about that. You know your mind automatically works better at that particular point of time. So
Right.
even if you are a commerce student, there is nothing that CAT exam you can't solve. Even the quantitative aptitude is, it's not like I'm saying just because I have cracked the exam and I got good percentile in that particular portion. It's about
Right.
even if you are not good at that particular portion, you can study and you can become better. It's
Correct.
not very difficult. The
Correct.
stigma should be removed from your mind that it's
Right.
tough.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. One thing which you said is prepared with your own aptitude. You don't
Prepare with
have
your
to
own aptitude.
prepare with.
Because
That's good.
right now CAT exam is asking more questions based on based on different slots. It happens every year. That in
Right.
particular slot there is more of
Right.
algebra. In particular slot
Right.
there is more of arithmetic. Focus on both of these. Arithmetic, algebra, geometry. These are important.
Correct.
Permutation, combination. Everything is important, but you should have your major command in one particular section of
Absolutely.
quant also.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
So I had my command in arithmetic from commerce background. I
Okay.
practice more on algebra and geometry. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Permutation and combination, I left it not so good part of myself. And limit and
Okay.
function, that
That's
particular
absolutely
portion, I also left it. Okay, if I am not able to prepare right now, leave it. I will
leave it.
focus more on other
Yeah.
particular topics.
Yes.
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 But you
Not
should
all
be
the
thorough on those
questions.
particular
Correct.
topics.
Absolutely. Not all the questions which are coming, which comes in the exam, are there to solve.
Meant to be solved.
Meant
I
to be
meant to be
solved.
solved.
Correct.
Yes.
Absolutely right.
Even in seven, so I remember I solved seven questions and in quant I got somewhere around 98, 99 percentile, and all seven
Right.
were right. So it's not important you need to solve all 22 or 24 questions which are coming. 10
Absolutely.
questions, if you are targeting 10 questions, it's more than enough for 95 plus percentile in quant exam.
Right. Right.
If
Right.
10 questions are right, you will even get 99, but I, and keeping it on the safer side, you will get 95 plus percentile. 10 questions, you
Right.
should know how to solve it. Your
Right.
target should be like that.
Right. That one moment in your CAT preparation journey, which 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 convinced you that I'm going to crack CAT exam.
So there are two moments. First
Okay.
one is that got to know that maybe I can't. In April, I gave
Oh,
one mock
okay.
exam, and my syllabus was also not complete. I was not also not ready, and I only got 20, 24 as a kuch, 10 to 24 as a kuch marks. I am not sure how much marks I got. I thought, see, it is not possible for me to solve or crack this exam. But I met with my mentors and they said this was your first mock. It is okay. This is good attempt. You didn't
Mhm.
got too many negative answers, and it's good that you have done this.
Right.
After that, started continued my preparation. Not sure how to
Mhm.
do it, but
Right.
that particular point after solving the past year questions
Uh-huh.
and then giving a mock. So
Mhm.
maybe June or August, June, July or August, I will say. After
Right.
giving 3 mocks, I got plus 90 percentile in every three of them. And then I thought,
Mhm.
okay, now now it's going good. Now
Okay.
it's
It's
possible
going
that
good.
I can crack this
Okay.
exam. Huh? Now
Right.
it's possible that I can crack this exam. And
Mhm.
that particular point which was from the past year questions. So you get
Okay.
to know the idea of how you know the basics, you know the formulas,
Right.
but how to
Right.
apply that in particular question, you understand from that.
Right.
And that was the
So
time
what
I got
was
to know, okay.
instead
So
start with your day one.
day one,
How was
okay.
the feeling inside when you were walking into the campus first day, and then you know that today I'm going to meet people who are equally good or maybe say slightly better than me, and then professors who are having great experience. So day one, क्या चल रहा था? How
Okay.
was there butterfly in stomach or how was it?
So it was like this that as soon as I got to know that this is my final, I am Amritsar is the call I am going for, and I'm not waiting for any other convert. I took my train to Amritsar. I went there from Indore, and I was ready for admission office. So first thing is that you need to sort out your admission details and everything from your PGP office, that is a program office. In our college, it's called MBA office. So you have to complete those formalities. As soon as I was done with those
Right.
formalities, I went to hostel allocation. So for hostel
Okay.
allocation, in the starting 3 days, it is a temporary room you will get for
Mhm.
your accommodation. Then it will get finalized that which room you are going for. I got a room which was very big in size. So first thing is okay, good. The room is good. The living environment is good in IIM. It's at that point of time.
Right.
So it was good over there. I was curious to know the seniors. For unfortunately, I never contacted them on LinkedIn or
Mhm.
WhatsApp before joining. There were
Okay.
multiple meetings by them, but I didn't contacted them.
Okay.
So as soon as the admission process was complete, we started getting links of meetings from different student bodies. So
Okay.
this is student council. I was part of student council in IIM Amritsar, and the first meeting, which is regarding how you need to maintain yourself, what is the protocol, how what are the grooming guidelines and everything. So student council gave those information to us on that particular meeting, and
Okay.
they also told us that there is going to be an induction week.
Okay.
I didn't know about what is induction week. I never searched so much about MBA that I got to know about the
Right.
induction
Right.
week. I was
Right.
not in contact with any other seniors. So as soon as I got to know about induction week, I got to know that in many other colleges, so say I am Lucknow, it's also called the Hell Week or something
Okay.
like that. So
Right.
here there are multiple student bodies in every IIM or B school, and you
Mhm.
get some particular task that you have to
Right.
do.
Right.
Uh, and you have to complete them in your Gmail, and you have to submit the proof of completion. So
Right.
these tasks in these 3 days. So the induction week, it's called a week because in 3 days you have to complete those tasks, and in next 3 to 4 days, your task will be reviewed, and
Evaluated.
you will be evaluated based on that in front of
Right.
everyone, and you
Right.
will be
Oh, in
told
front of
what
everyone.
in
Okay.
front of everyone. So first 3 days were you have to do with
Yeah.
your batchmates, and
Right.
next 3 days are that seniors will come, that particular student body will come, and they will evaluate how you have done your particular task,
Okay.
or whether or not you have done that particular task. So
Okay.
first day was okay. I got
Mhm.
a task from student council, and it was a group task about how you are imagining your journey in IIM Amritsar or your
Mhm.
life at IIM Amritsar. You have to make a short video
Okay.
out of it in a group of 4 to 5
All right.
students. So
Okay.
that was good. I completed that. But there are 21 student bodies. At that
Okay.
particular point of time, there were 21
Mhm.
student bodies. In 3 days
Mhm.
of time, you got then consecutively you got all the mails of all
Okay.
the student bodies in those three
Okay.
days, and you have to
Okay.
complete every single task. So tasks are like you have to prepare maybe say a PPT, you have to
Mhm.
prepare a report, or you have to do a group task in which you have to make a video of maybe say a conference or your views on any current affair topic. So these
Okay.
were the tasks you were given, and you have to complete it with groups. And in every single task, the group won't be same.
Okay.
So the logic for this induction week is that in a batch of 350, 320 students, you get to meet everyone, almost more than 50% of your batch in those 3 days itself. You got to know
Okay.
how those student works.
Mm.
And in these 3 days, I particularly didn't got much sleep, only 2 hours every day or something like that. So it's not
Okay.
very difficult that CAT students say, "Oh, I won't
Mhm.
do this." but it's
Mhm.
something that makes you prepared for your upcoming journey in
Right.
the IIM. So it
Right.
teaches you how the last minute submissions are done, how you
Right.
need to prepare in a group, how need to work in a group, and what are the group dynamics. So in these three
Right.
days, the initial, I also got scared because this was the first time I was overwhelmed with these many tasks and work. But they prepared me. And this I didn't
Okay.
got to know at that point of time that they were preparing me. I got to know after 2 or 3 months when my group assignments started coming that I need to complete at 12 p.m. It's 11 p.m. I need to ask all the group members to come and
All
then
right.
I got to know that this was a good part of IIM journey.
All right.
So all the 21 bodies gave their introduction in student this induction week, and they asked that you can be a part of their student bodies. At that
Mm-hmm.
point, after being so much tired in that particular week, I thought I don't want to be a part of any student body. That was my first reaction. So I was a little, and many students are overwhelmed by the seniors because
Okay.
the tasks were little, I won't say difficult or anything like that, but they put a pressure on you that they give
Yeah.
you the taste of IIM life.
Okay.
So, so it was like that. But
Okay.
then they say you can be a part of this committee. You will learn many skills. So, as a part of student council member, I learned leadership skills and coordination, group dynamic, and how to extracurricular activities or co-curricular activities which are done. So
Mm.
student council is related to the well-being of students and how their concerns are raised with the management and how they are dealt with. So this was the part of student council. There are many other committees like cultural committees where I will say merchandise and sponsorship committee. So there are many committees which are involved with how you will learn different skills. So in student council, I learned leadership. In
Okay.
masscom committee, that is merchandise and sponsorship committee, many students learn
Yeah.
how to manage the vendors for badge t-shirts and badge hoodies, and how to deal with vendors, how to deal with sponsorships for any particular event. There were
Okay.
a hostel and mess committee there, as there is in every college. But the main part of B schools is these committees are managed by students itself. There are
Okay.
many committees which are related to academic clubs. So Marcophilic, that is marketing club. There is FEC, that is related to finance and economics. So these are the committees which are run by students. They organize multiple events based on their interest and the particular interest they are formed, and it gives a it gives an overall idea or grooming on how you want to grow in that particular committee and how they are helping the overall student community as a whole. So from student council, which I selected for, I tried getting into student council. I completed their admission process, which was at that particular point of time. There were 4 to 5 rounds for student council, um,
Okay.
being a member of student council, and then
All
there
right.
was an interview with the seniors, and thereafter, this is the interesting part is that as a election, so there is
Okay.
an election of being a member of committee. So
Okay.
you have to ask votes from your batchmates,
All right.
and
Okay.
only 7 people will get to be part of student council, and there were 15 to 20 members who will uh, come into election, who will be part of election.
Okay.
So you need to compete for votes also. So this
All
was
right.
the
Okay.
initial process of joining student council, and then I learned a lot in student council. I will say from my seniors also, I learned a lot of professionalism, a lot of as managing multiple situations, managing student demands, and overall, it actually grooms you. So being a
Right.
part of a committee member, club member in any top B school, it's not only about a authority or position or a CV pointer which you are getting, but you
Okay.
actually get groomed a lot and you learn a lot from that particular point, other than academics. Because
Okay.
academics, that is there, but what makes B schools or top B schools different from other colleges is that there are these committees who are working on major issues and who are incorporating some skills which will be useful for you in your lifetime. So leadership
Yeah.
skills and their time management, team
Yes.
management, there are multiple dynamics which you learn. in
Right,
these.
right.
So this was my initial. So I, as soon as the induction week was completed, academics get started. But I was a little afraid. I won't.
Okay.
I'm not sure. A little afraid of
Hmm.
what the hectic life will be in
It's
IIM,
going to be
and
right, right.
a
Hmm.
little overwhelmed with the academics and everything. And for academics, I will say there are HR subjects and every you get to know about every single domain.
Right.
And HR was not very strong domain of mine.
Okay.
I got to know in the first term itself. So
Okay.
I learned to manage it for the next 3 terms, and in second year I didn't took any HR subjects. So
Right.
it was like that. The journey
Okay.
was very fruitful, overwhelming, and then it made you prepare for the next year's journey. It was
Okay.
a mix. It's a
Makes
mixed
sense.
reaction, and still remembering those induction days. It's a good. Now I know
Yeah,
why
you get
it was
goosebumps
like that.
if you remember those things, those moments,
Now I
right?
know why it
Absolutely.
was done.
Right, right,
At that
right,
time, I was scared.
right. Do you get to party also?
Yeah, and so there is a cultural committee in IIM.
Okay.
After every event which are done, there are multiple cultural events which are organized in IIM,
All right.
and cultural committee is responsible for many of them.
Okay.
And there are a lot of parties, DJ nights. There is
Wow.
our annual fest, Arunya. In IIM Amritsar, we call it Arunya. Last year, Jubin Nautiyal also came there
Oh,
for
nice.
performance. So we
Nice.
also do get to do a lot of parties and fun in
Nice.
IIM.
Nice. Nice.
Late night parties after completing your submissions, after completing any particular event. So there are many
Great.
parties which are done. It's not. I will also include one more factor in this
Yeah.
that in an IIM there are students from every particular state
Right.
in India, from India. Okay,
Correct. Correct.
so
They
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 are from
maintain
every
the
particular
diversity.
state.
Right.
They
Right.
maintain the diversity over there.
Correct.
I am from Madhya Pradesh, so we also do a state party also. Madhya Pradesh
Okay.
freshers. The
Okay.
Madhya Pradesh seniors will introduce you. Say, okay, this is your college, and you can take help from us anytime you want. They
Nice.
throw us a fresher party that we
Wow.
once we come into the I am Amritsar fraternity
Mm-hmm.
or community. And we,
Right.
as a senior, as we got to become the senior in second year, we also gave them a fresher party. They gave us back our
Perfect.
farewell party. There are many parties, and there's also a lot of bonding which is done. So,
Correct.
in multiple group projects, multiple parties, and multiple events, yes, we do get to have a lot of
Yeah.
party, a lot of fun, and a lot of bonding and networking, I will say for sure.
Right. Right. And that's what you earn during that 2 years.
Huh,
That's why
that's what we
it's
earn.
yeah. And people, a lot of students also. I get query from a lot of students that shall we do online MBA? But this
No.
is something people should listen to. The way you have explained the life or journey in IIM or any top B school. That's what you live, and that can
Yes.
an online MBA or certification program, part-time certification program can never match this.
This they can't match this. So
Right.
after first term, as I told you, I was overwhelmed. I came back home. But after second term and third term, first I went to Vaishno Devi because it's very near to I am Amritsar, Amritsar
Right.
also.
Yes.
Then I
Yes.
also went to Kashmir in December after my second term. After my second term, I also went to Kashmir after getting my SIP. So summer internship,
Okay.
I was placed on 21st, and on 23rd I went for Kashmir. So
Wow.
it's very randomly you go without any planning. You leave. You are working one day. You are submitting a project on 6 p.m. and then you are leaving for Kashmir tour, or you are taking your
Wow.
laptop and submitting your projects from there also.
Nice.
So
Nice.
there's a lot of bonding and a lot of trips which also we get to do with your friends. So
Okay.
it's a completely different experience from
Different
executive or
experience. Absolutely.
online MBA. I won't recommend an online MBA to anyone. As long as possible, do a offline MBA. You will learn
Right.
a lot from an
Right.
offline MBA. Until and
Right.
unless it's any serious issue
I
which you have to
understand.
do.
I understand. But if I mean, if you get to compare, a full-time residential program has a completely different. essence, value compared to if you do it online. Online, you're just studying about the subjects and you're only focusing on the academics. But other than that, there are lot more things which are also important for you to become a better manager, which you learn, which you live during this 2 years.
These two
Right,
ways, yes.
right,
Residential program also, I'll say a residential MBA versus a non-residential MBA. A residential
right,
MBA teaches you a lot.
lot,
You are
right,
bound to network a lot. You are bound to make a lot of friends,
right,
irrespective of which state or which community you are coming from. In a
right, right.
non-residential MBA, maybe you will get one or two friends and you will be connected with them. But in a
Yes,
residential MBA, with your roommates, with rooms adjacent to
yeah,
yourself, you will get a
yes,
complete diversity and you will learn a lot and
right.
make a lot of friends.
Batchmates, project mates, classmates, seniors,
Seniors,
professors.
juniors,
Right,
professors.
right,
So there's a
right.
lot to learn in a residential MBA. I will
Correct,
definitely recommend
correct.
a residential MBA right now also.
Right. Great. So, Rahul, it was really a pleasure having discussion with you about your CAT preparation, your life in IIM, and every minute of this conversation deserve value. If people who are listening to this podcast, you should pick up points. You should understand how you can make things different if you are, or you can also identify whether you are on the same track or you need to change, you need to tweak a bit in your CAT preparation journey. How do you imagine an IIM life going to be? Yeah. And as Rahul mentioned, that don't burn out during your CAT prep itself, because you have a lot more to do,
A lot more
right?
to do. Be
Yes.
consistent
So
and don't burn
yes,
out.
yes. Right. So cracking CAT exam is not the only goal you should have. After that, also you have a lot of things. But yes, it starts with preparing for CAT and getting a good score in CAT.
Yes,
Okay. Rahul, again, I thank you to be part of this podcast series of ViaCareers. And thank you so much that you have taken time from your busy schedule and you spent time with us and given valuable insights. And we all hope and wish best for you. You are already at the best place and you are blessed with having a good family support as well. But in future also, when you grow in your corporate, uh, we wish you the best for that.
thank you,
You should
thank you, thank you,
have
Sachin.
amazing career ahead and be part of uh, such podcasts in future as well, because we'll
Definitely,
have students who are going to ask about group discussion, personal interview at the later stage. I hope you have a lot more to share there as well.
definitely. Thank you for this opportunity, sir. Actually, I'm also honored to talk everything about my cat journey and remembering those days, how different it was, how uncertain it was before preparing for CAT, and how it is right now after getting into an IIM, graduating from an IIM, and helping others and learning a lot myself also. So anyone who is watching this podcast, they can also reach out to me anytime on LinkedIn or
Wow,
any other source, and they can
beautiful,
ask any doubts if they have. And
nice,
in further podcast about anything about JD or interview, we can also come back and talk about
right,
anything you wish to.
right. Thank you so much once again, Rahul, and
Thank you.
we wish you the best.